Our next presenter is Laura Woodward, the Paws to Consider, C.A.T. and Attention Deficit Concerns, and the advisor is Mary Towell Harmon.
Jake is a school-age child who likes to go hiking with his family, tell creative stories, and play with Skylanders. Jake also has attention concerns. This makes it difficult for him to make the progress that he's capable of because he has trouble paying attention. This was a pattern that we noticed in his speech-language therapy as well, and ultimately it was this difficulty that inspired our research. Jake's clinicians were familiar with canine-assisted therapy, ironically abbreviated C.A.T. I know, you're thinking, how on earth is bringing a dog into the room going to help a child to focus? Well, C.A.T. involves the use of a trained animal and its handler, as well as the client and therapist. It's not a time for the child to play with the dog. Rather, the animal sits quietly at the child's feet and therapy is conducted as usual. So what did our study look like? This was a single subject design looking at the results for one child. We were interested in two questions. First, would the use of C.A.T. affect the total number of redirections to task required? And second, would C.A.T.'s use affect the total minutes per session spent in off-task behaviors? Our intervention took place over a period of 10 weeks, and the therapy dog Maddie was present weeks 4 through 8. During this time, we were measuring both the number of redirections that Jake required to task, as well as the total minutes in each session spent in off-task behaviors. Jake required a lot of verbal redirections, like, "Jake, come sit back down with me, please," as well as nonverbal redirections, like tapping his chair as an indication that he should sit back down. In the initial 3 weeks, we noticed that Jake became very distracted during activities that he disliked, often yelling or moving to a corner of the room by himself, after which he was very difficult to redirect to any task. But as a part of C.A.T., Jake was allowed to reach down and pet Maddie as a way of calming himself and returning to task. Our results were really exciting. We noticed that Jake tended to be in a pleasant mood and much calmer when Maddie came to speech. While the number of redirections to task fluctuated from week to week, regardless of whether Maddie was present, it was shown that in the 5 weeks that Maddie came to speech, Jake spent fewer minutes off task and returned to task much more quickly. After analyzing our data, we determined that in more than 50% of Jake's sessions with Maddie, he spent fewer minutes off task than even his best session without her. We also see that his average percentage of off-task time was cut in half with the use of C.A.T. This tells us that this treatment for this child was an effective one. So why does all of this matter? Because C.A.T. has the potential to help the millions of children nationwide like Jake who have difficulty paying attention to stay focused and make the progress that they're capable of. As speech-language pathologists, it's time that we turn our attention to attention. Thank you.